4 days after people. Near Pearl Harbor, the hands on the clock of the iconic Aloha Tower have come to a stop. Installed in 1926, the famous clock is driven by heavy weights, which have now reached the bottom of their cycle. Ordinarily, they are reset by electricity every 2 days. But power is now permanently out on the entire island. This also means the defeat of the USS Missouri's electrically powered rust protection system. Seawater now begins to eat away at her hull. And from the skies above, the Missouri comes under a new kind of aerial assault. Six months after people, the birds of Hawaii are flocking to their new favorite island.
Birds certainly have no trouble getting to a place like that. They would treat it like any other small island.
These birds bring new life to the decks of the Missouri, dropping undigested seeds that lodge into the ship's 53,000 square feet of wooden decks.
The battleship Missouri, it has teak decks, and so that's an organic start. You would get a buildup of soil and leaf litter just as you would any other place on land. It's all a matter of time.
As the Missouri morphs into the newest Hawaiian island, out in the Pacific, the metal casing on the Russian nuclear warhead is on its way to failure. "15 years after people." In Pearl Harbor, the USS Missouri has reached the end of her rope.
The ship is held to the pier with nylon mooring lines. If you notice, sir, this line here has a chink in it. After 15 to 20 years, the mooring lines will part, the ship will break away from its mooring here in Pearl Harbor.
As the lines snap, the mighty ship pulls away from the dock. Now adrift, what will be her fate? "20 years after people." In the Arizona desert, the mummified aircraft waiting in an eternal holding pattern are showing signs of distress. Years of high winds have scattered these proud birds of war about like toys on a giant playground. In the time of humans, the planes had to be periodically realigned.
Because these aircraft have a vertical stabilizer on it, the rudder, and makes the aircraft behave basically like a wind vane. We've had microbursts in the neighborhood of 120 miles an hour, which is enough to make most of these aircraft move around a little bit.
Human caretakers also had to maintain the protective coatings on any planes that might be pressed into service again. Those that didn't receive this care suffer the consequences.
This spray lat, as we see it right now, is really not serving its function anymore. Rainwater can get in under here, and it can actually seep along the spray lat underneath the layer of protection.
Now, after 2 decades without maintenance, every plane in the yard is taking a beating. The paint is wearing, and rust is corroding joints. The canopies are clouding from UV damage, and fighter jet engines have become homes for birds.
The wings on these aircraft are not likely to fall off. The wing structure is the strongest structure in the aircraft. It supports the aircraft when it's in flight and when it's on the ground, taking all the ground loads. So in a life after people, you're likely to see the wings still attached to these aircraft long into the future.
But these planes won't stay here long enough to lose their wings.
What we're seeing here is an example of some of the erosion caused by rainwater runoff. This is something that's common to all the aircraft that are stored here. And the chances are very good that this sort of erosion could have occurred in a single storm.
As desert rains carve out dirt from below, desert winds sweep in dust from above, the Earth begins to swallow what was once a mighty fleet.